Very good. We're live. We're welcome. We're back. Arline, it's a little hard to see you there. You might want to put a little more light on the subject. We're in a new year. It's 2021. The virus is completely retreated. It's gone. We're all back to work now. Amazingly enough, the virus not only did the vaccine cure the virus, it put $10,000 in every person's pocket, and the government has said no taxes for the next 5 years to make up for what's happened in the past. That's just for the people that are watching this 50 years from now.
None of that's true.
But for the people that are watching 50 years from now, you're at 3 Martini Lunch, which is a virtual networking event powered by Rockstar Connect. We've been on a holiday vacation, much deserved. In our family, we started celebrating Christmas and New Year's about 2 weeks before Thanksgiving. We will be continuing to celebrate until Valentine's Day. All of our Christmas trees are up and all of our decorations, and we have warned our neighbors that we are not taking down our lights. And they seem to be pretty okay with it. A lot of them are planning on leaving their lights up as well. As long as we get them down by Valentine's Day and we don't leave them up till next Christmas. It's so nice to see some familiar faces. If you notice, my face is not so familiar. I have a beard. My wife asked me, said, well, as long as you're not going to be televised for 2 weeks, I've never seen you with a beard, so why don't you try it? At the last time my parents were over, my mother said, you look a little bit like Peter Ustinov. And I said, I'm not sure that's a compliment, Mom. Although I did look back, he was quite a handsome gentleman, albeit a little bit on the portly side. I will not be shaving this beard until the hostages come back from Iran. They're released from the embassy. Wait, that already happened? I'm not sure when I'm going to shave it. We'll see. It's almost at the point where it's trimmable, so I won't look like Grizzly Adams. So we have a nice amount of people for the first hour, and for the second hour, we have people coming too. We do have the question of the week, and it's going to be slightly common and plebeian, nothing crazy this time. But as far as the first hour, I want to know what your successes have been over the holiday season. And I know some of you probably didn't work, or some of you worked twice as hard. But I'd just like to know what those successes are, whether they would have been a family success or a personal success. Any of those work for us, right? Because we're trying to share success. Let's start with Jackie. I haven't seen Jackie in a while.
Hello, Stephen. How are you?
I'm doing well. It looks like you're sporting a new hairstyle yourself.
I am. What do you think?
I like it very much so.
Thank you. I just wanted to try something new. So I'm getting used to it. It's only a day old, so we'll see how long I can tolerate it. But holiday, I hope you had a great holiday season with your family. I did. I rested a little, and of course, work is always part of my resting plan. I know that sounds crazy, but it is. But a lot of great things happen over the holidays for me, personally and with the foundation. So on personal tip, the greatest gift was that my family is all safe. My siblings and I check on each other every day. We're all in different states. So we have to just make sure that everyone is well. And so we start our morning with a group text. And so I'm blessed every day that everybody is still healthy and safe. On the foundation end, did a lot of effortless fundraising, which I am forever grateful for. What a blessing. And the other thing is we finished off our very first virtual art auction, which did very well, by the way.
I wanted to ask you about that, and what was the success with it? And is it something else people could do either for a fundraiser, or was it really difficult? Or
actually, it was not difficult. The thing was the timing. With I think had we launched it a little bit earlier than December, it could have been a lot more successful on the finance end, but for the most part, it was successful because it reached people. All 10 pieces were auctioned off. It reached, but more importantly, it reached people to get the message out, because the story behind that collection was one of importance to me. And it was about paying attention, being vigilant, and paying attention to young people, because they don't think they have a voice when it comes to some, times like this that we've been experiencing. So I think mission accomplished on that end. We're going to be doing another one with a different story behind it. There's going to be a series of these virtual art auctions, and they all have a powerful message behind them, story behind them, how it all came about, how the artwork came about. So we'll be doing. We have 2 more in the works, so I'm looking forward to that. Excited about it, and people can donate art. But it has to be something that they have painted themselves. They must be the artist, because there's always a story behind art. I don't think people paint just to be painting. There's always a story behind it. And so we are we've kind of become storytellers by using artistic expression through art. And at the same time, raising money for a great cause to fund education.
That's great. So maybe next time you have an art auction, let us know ahead of time so that we can let people nationally bid on so they can bid on the art.
Absolutely. I think this was our first one, and we learned some things along the way. So we will definitely launch earlier. And yes, Stephen, I will let you know way in advance as this thing starts to materialize. I'll let you know way in advance when we're going to launch.
So if any of our panelists have a pet project that they want to promote that you feel has national appeal, please let us know, and we'll send it out to the over 100,000 people that have gone to Rockstar Connect events. Who's only going to be on the first hour and needs to leave? Okay, so I want to start off with the people that are going to be on the first hour.
I have to leave at 3. Yes. So
one more hand up. Let's see who's going to be here only for the first hour. Jennifer, you're lying. You're going to be here for both hours. Okay, I'm going to go to Chris because he usually drops off like within 15 minutes or so. Chris, can you sort of give us a report on what the successes have been, not only for your company, but for the restaurant industry in general, if there is any, over the last few months? I was just recently heard that, a landmark bar here in Raleigh, Coughlin's, which all of us who has not been to Coughlin's, closed this week because they just weren't able to make their nut anymore. What's the story on the street, Chris?
Well, I don't know if you heard too, but me and Francesca also kind of followed suit and closed down up in North Hills as well. So that's another good one down. So right now in the Triangle, I think we've lost a little over 100 restaurants in the last year. Most of them being smaller, mom and pop restaurants, things like that. Folks who, even at 50% capacity, couldn't just make enough money to keep the doors open. I mean, the chat is, though, for the ones that come out of this around the end of March, April, the turnaround's going to happen. The floodgates will open, and it's just staying positive right now. Right now, this month is very scary for a lot of restaurants because we're coming out of a very light Christmas where we probably did a quarter of the revenue that we would typically do any other Christmas of any other year, and going into January with the potential of possibly having governor's orders come back on us. I mean, I hope we're going to float past it just barely, but every week's a scary thing. I mean, to be honest, I wait to see if our governor's going to talk on a daily basis now, to see if we're going to go back to shutdown, if we're going to go back to go business only until, vaccines really start getting out there and, everything starts turning around. Success for the week is I tested positive for COVID and then tested negative 3 times in a row right after that. So success is I did not have it.
That probably counts as 4 cases.
It was weird. So the chances of getting a false positive are literally like less than 5%, and the chances of a false negative are up to about 20%. Well, I went and got a test on New Year's, the day before New Year's, because I was going to hang out with my in-laws on New Year's Eve, and they're very high risk. So came in to work on New Year's Day or New Year's Eve and got the text from the Radius Labs that I had tested positive. So I immediately jetted out of the restaurant, went to get another test, came back that night negative, tested again the next day, negative again, and then 2 days later negative. So it's very rare.
We're glad you're well. We're glad you're well. Mia Francesca, that's a big space. I mean, we use the Mia Francesca. We did an event there, and we actually have a photo that we use in our logo from their patio at a packed event back in better days. And in fact, Sarah and I, were reintroduced to each other at a Rockstar Connect event at Mia Francesca. That's a big space to fill, right, Diego?
It is. You're absolutely right, Stephen. That's a landmark in that area. So that's going to be felt.
Yeah, they apparently came in and literally closed them down. They called everybody in for a meeting and was like, "All right, we're closing the doors," and that was it. It was just like that last week. So.
Yeah, the first Rockstar Connect event that was done outside of my own personal office, that was actually done in a restaurant, was done at Mia Francesca 10 years ago. So, yeah. Diego, successes over the holidays.
Amazon managed to find our house every time. I don't know if that was a success for us as much as Amazon. But we made it to and back from upstate New York in the mountains, spending time with family. And in the midst of all of that, still managed to write a couple contracts. So I was able to enjoy some time with family, avoid the pandemic, the issues with the pandemic, and get a little bit of business done.
Well, that's terrific. That's good news. Why don't you go out there after this and find us a good tenant for Mia Francesca? I see they finally are filling the Cary Town Center. Did you read about that?
I did. That was pretty epic, if you'll forgive the pun.
Yeah, there's a company, for those of you who are not in North Carolina, for you on the West Coast, Midwest, Florida, etc. There's a company called Epic Games. They're pretty popular. They created a little game called Fortnite. It's the most popular game in the world. They just got a valuation of $12 billion as a company. And they decided to make, they had their headquarters here. There was fear that perhaps they would go elsewhere, but they actually just bought a $100 million shopping center and are converting it into a giant campus for their company, which hopefully will mean, some high-paying jobs here in the Triangle area. Hey, Tommy, it's great to have you back. We've missed you.
Great to be back.
Everyone always asks where Tommy is. Great to be back. So tell us, we haven't seen you in a while. What have been some of your successes? How have the holidays been treating you?
Well, I fell on some health issues, but I'm doing okay now. Business-wise, for what I do for a living and teach people how to eliminate their debt, it's endless. It really doesn't. As a matter of fact, now I'm more busy than I ever was.
I would imagine, people are probably putting, a lot of people are probably living on loans, and
they are. And my success would be just being able to kind of keep up with all this,
Yeah. Are you familiar with, with all these SBA loans that they gave out, all those emergency loans? What's going to happen with those when all these businesses go out of business? They're not going to pay them.
No, they're not going to pay them. The reason for the loan was to try and keep them in business. So if the loan is there to keep them in business, they'll probably stay in business. That's what I'm seeing here in Florida anyway. You have to be a little careful with those loans. I'm not going to give you a loan. You can't go out and buy a new Ferrari with that thing. You got to use it to keep your business afloat. People that have done that have gotten themselves in a little bit of trouble. I do believe there are people who've gotten money that basically really didn't need it. I don't know how you would try and finagle the way through that, but what I do know is that in any situation, the people are much better without their debt than with their debt. And that's where we come in.
Okay, terrific. That's great. Anyone want to reach out to Tommy? His information is dropped in the chat. He's with Your Family Bank. Your Family Bank is a great supporter of Rockstar Connect and has done hundreds of events with Rockstar Connect. I know that, you know, the goalposts keep on getting pushed out. We say every month we're going to start doing events, but it's not just the venues and the venues having reduced capacity. It's also, you know, we care about our attendees at events. If we can't do a safe event, we're not going to do an event. And also, you know, our hosts' health are very important as well. You know, our hosts tend to be professionals. We're not 20 years old. So we have those risks, but we're looking forward to doing events very soon. And
I got one tomorrow night. I have one tomorrow night, first one in January. I'll let you know.
Excellent. Excellent. So which one is that? Is that the
Jupiter?
Jupiter?
Yeah.
So Florida is a little more open than we are, guys.
Yeah, a little bit.
So they've had a lot of success. So we wish you great success tomorrow with your event, Tommy, and I hope the team is doing everything they're supposed to be doing.
They are.
Okay, great. Good to know. So I know that you had to leave as well, Arline.
Mm-hmm.
So let's start with you, Arline. So those of you who don't know Arline teaches people how to get sponsors, not only for not-for-profits, but for-profits as well. So what have been your successes recently?
Well, I just kind of laid back and enjoyed the holidays and enjoyed my family. I did a little gardening. I've got kale growing. I've got spinach, and I've got, you know, so I just tried not to feel too guilty and just had fun.
I think it's important. I did work quite a bit over the holidays because I've doubled down on real estate, of course, during COVID and having a very good year in real estate. But you got to have fun. I did a lot of cooking, things I've never cooked before that I wanted to cook before. Got to see my parents, got to see a few friends. We did the whole social distancing thing. And I want to continue, really. I think definitely I want to have the holiday for at least another week or two. So just be prepared to see some more holiday posts. Caroline, are you done this hour as well? Or are you
Yes,
doing both?
I need to jump off at 3.
Hey, Caroline, it's been a while since we've seen you, so you may want to tell people real quickly, you know, you're a coach, but and a trainer rather, how do you train people?
We are, we call ourselves trainers. We're a company, Self-Discovery Life Mastery. We really train people how to quiet the mind, focus attention, relieve stress, and then create their ideal life, their vision. So we really train very ambitious, driven people who want more success, whether that's business, relationships. So that's what I do. We do workshops, we do one-on-one training. We're in Florida, South Florida, so we do have quite a lot more leeway with actually what we can do and what we're allowed to do. So the Christmas time for us was quiet, which is kind of nice. Most of my clients are doing Christmas things, traveling somewhat. So for the 2-3 weeks over Christmas, it's just a nice opportunity to catch up with friends and clients and eat and drink and support the local restaurants, which I did. And for me, as soon as like 2-3 days after the holidays, the phone's going, people want to get in training, the tree comes down, the lights come down, and it's 100% back on business. So the beginning of the year is really about a lot of people wanting to create their ideal 21.
And where are you in Florida again, Caroline?
Delray Beach.
Delray Beach,
Yeah.
great. Hey, Domenic.
Oops,
Go
yes, sir.
You're going to be here for the second hour. Let me go to Rena and then I'll go to you. But Rena, don't feel like you have to rush because we're starting in with you with a little bit of time before the end of the hour.
Okay.
First of all, you look very well rested.
I am. I combined a little bit of work. I'm sorry, what?
Do like a fast or have special food over the holidays or?
No, really, I didn't. I exercised a little bit more every day. which I felt good about. I mixed a little bit of rest and a little bit of work, so I kept working. If I didn't work a little bit, I spent too much time Netflixing and day drinking, and that's just not healthy. So, so I did a little work. I did 2 podcasts over the holidays with 2 of our colleagues from 3 Martini Lunch. I did a podcast with Norma, Hollis, and of course we know how amazing she is and what a wonderful command of her topic she has. So she and I talked about authenticity, and then I also did a podcast with Dr. Holly Sullinger, and of course her topic is relevant, staying relevant. So I was really pleased with those podcasts. You can find my podcast under the title of Let's Get Vocal with Rena. And I call it that because it allows me to talk about my topic, voice, and it also allows me to go off topic, anything that we want to get vocal about. So if you want to check out Norma and Dr. Holly, be sure to do that. Those were my big successes over the Christmas
Well, that's
holiday.
terrific. And everyone would agree that she just looks like completely refreshed.
Yep.
Yeah, great outfit too.
Thanks.
Day drinking. It's sort of a funny thing because I imagine there's a lot more alcohol consumed currently, although I haven't seen anything on that. But as far as, I read an article today, cocaine use is down 78%.
Down.
Down. And even among regular users, it's down 60%. So an enormous, people aren't going to nightclubs. So I guess it really, is one of those type of drugs that people use casually. LSD, way down. Way down. I guess if you're locked in your house, it's probably not a drug that people are doing too frequently. Cannabis use, way up. Enormous high. And, people are not just taking it recreationally, they're using it medicinally, some of them under, doctor's care.
Pain and insomnia, excellent for that.
Right, because people aren't getting out as much and, they're not moving as much, so they're having more pains and aches.
Uh-huh.
And it's really bad to have like ibuprofen and those drugs every single day. They take a real toll on your body, especially if you're day drinking and drinking alcohol
Right.
more frequently too. And that, another statistic I read that the opioid addiction has gone up considerably, and there are more overdoses. So that's sad. We haven't gotten all that data back. That's why I hope that the powers that be don't just keep on pushing the goalposts further and say more lockdowns. They need to find some other creative ways to alleviate the stress of the populace and business people. Thank you for participating, Rena. And Oklahoma's
My pleasure.
Correct. Oklahoma is pretty open.
Oklahoma is open legally, but things are so slow right now because our numbers are very high, and even in rural areas where COVID wasn't present initially, it is now everywhere, and so there's
you're probably getting your first wave almost.
Well, there's certainly a higher level of awareness and quite a bit of mask wearing now. People are not fighting that mandate quite as much. And I think the more people wear masks, the more they are really striving to be socially distant and aware. I think that the numbers will begin to go down a little bit, and we'll feel
we're
more
wearing a
free
lot
to
of
go out.
masks here. There's a lot of masks here. You see them everywhere.
Yeah.
But the governor keeps on saying the numbers keep on going up. Maybe we have the wrong masks, potentially. Maybe.
Well, I think there's probably enough people who aren't wearing masks. You get with family and friends, you get comfortable, you take the masks off, and that's where exposures happen, I think.
So like at home, not in restaurants and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing, that it's big gatherings and big home parties where it's going up. Restaurants are being pretty careful.
Yeah, they are. I mean, you should see Chris's place, and it's a fantastic place to go and 100% safe, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Who else had to go? Jennifer had to take a walk. Or are you staying for the full 2 hours, Jennifer?
I think I may stay for just an hour. If I can stay for 2 hours, then bonus better. So
Okay, great. So what type of like successes have you had, and what type of excesses did you have over Christmas and New Year's? Penguins, I hear, really like to party.
yeah, I know.
That's the-
We're always in formal attire, so we're always ready for a party.
You're always ready for the New Year's. So
So,
what type of success have you had?
Oh, I've been taking that time, you know, just because less people are calling, you know, less people are setting appointments doesn't mean that you take time off. So I use that time to focus on developing my business more. I, in my particular case, am working on business planning and investments, are getting funding, and furthering in my particular industry, both advertising and animation. So I can't say and divulge of what is being particularly worked on, of course, but that's something that's taking all of my energy, all of my resources. But I did manage to connect with a lot of talented people in the entertainment industry and some old friends too, that were completely on board and love what we're going to be working on. So that made me feel so humble and also very proud of everyone that I encountered, including some former interns of mine, that were very happy to jump back on board.
Well, congratulations. It sounds like some great success there. I'll tell you what, we have a blanket NDA here, so you can share any of your secrets, you know, live on this broadcast, and, you know, it'll be completely secret. We won't tell anyone about it. Okay? Does that
Yeah,
work?
look like Dom got a good kick out of that one.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, just you, me, and about 1 million of our closest friends, right?
That's
Yeah,
all.
that's
all I
so
think people
small.
know
Yeah,
about
yeah.
it. And Andrew Pierce, welcome from Wilmington.
What's up, Stephen?
I'm doing great. I mean, I know that you're a fellow cook, chef. You're a chef. I'm just a cook. So, but you probably spent a lot of time over the holidays dining and making new dishes, or were you guests at other people's homes?
It was sort of a mixture. I did some in-home chef jobs for people who wanted to go out for a birthday, or, you know, one lady was pregnant. They couldn't do a baby moon, so something like that. Kind of like you, I'd never done a standing rib roast on the smoker. So I was playing with new dishes. And then over the holiday, instead of having 30 people here, we had 4. So I did the Christmas story dinner and cooked a duck.
Oh yeah, we had Christmas Day, we had duck. I would have to say that now that I've made a standing rib roast, I don't have to ever make another one again.
I really enjoyed it. It was kind of fun.
I mean, it was fun, but just give me a regular steak. How's the real estate business out in Wilmington? Still crushing it?
It's insane, man. I'm about to fire a guy who won't do his own homework and get his properties ready for the listings. And I've never would have said that 10 months
You're
ago.
not the type to fire someone, so they must be,
No, I'm really pretty patient, but he keeps treating me like an employee and a property manager, and I keep reminding him it's his responsibility to get to a certain point. So,
well, I'm sure you'll keep him in line. Jenny Midgley, having a good hair day, Jenny, huh?
I think so. I don't know.
Very lustrous.
That's-
Go ahead. I'm
No,
sorry.
I guess it's a good day. It's not raining today, so that helps.
Well, Sarah got I got her Christmas gift. She got it. She was completely surprised. I got her the Dyson.
The hair wrap.
The hair wrap, the deluxe one, and she has done her hair every single day.
That's an amazing gift.
I want one.
If you want one,
Yeah, they're super cool.
It's worth it.
She says it's worth it. I mean, she has very long, thick hair, and she gets it like in 10 minutes now.
That's amazing.
Styled with like curls and
Yeah.
But it was a successful gift. So tell me a little bit about your holidays. Did you get a nice gift? Did you give a good gift? How's business? What's your successes?
Like, I feel like it was even like the last 2 weeks of 2020 were like a compounded blur of all of 2020, right? Like, I didn't do a whole lot. I stayed home. I mean, I got stuff done. I had a couple clients. I edited some photos. I worked on my content planning for 2021 for myself. You know, like I made some marketing strategy. Like it was just like a down week, but I was very productive.
Did you have champagne?
No, had some Bailey's makes a vanilla caramel, which is delicious in coffee. No, we got Santa was very nice and brought us a Ninja specialty coffee maker, which is phenomenal. I'm just gonna say it's amazing. An Instant Pot and a Soda Stream. So we drank a lot of seltzer, a lot of coffee, and have been experimenting with the Instant Pot, which I made hard-boiled eggs in 15 minutes, which was amazing.
I mean, if you could connect all three of those appliances together, you could destroy the world.
I totally could.
That's how long it takes anyway, Jenny. 15 minutes is all it takes anyway.
For
It's
hard-boiled
actually-
eggs? Then I've been making them wrong for 42 years.
It takes me 7.
I don't- Yeah, this is why I say, like, I can cook, I just choose not to, right? Like, this is why my husband does all the cooking.
All your counter space.
Yeah, but it's, you know, it was good. Like, it was just nice. So that's, yeah, I'm starting a book club in my group. I'm super excited about that.
Excellent. Nonfiction or fiction?
Well, my Facebook group is all about social media and content marketing strategy. And so we're doing, I'm going to focus the first 3 months of the year on like mindset around marketing. And so we're doing 3 of the Jen Sincero books. We're starting, this month is going to be You Are a Badass. February is going to be You Are a Badass at Making Money. And March is going to be Badass Habits. And so for February in my family, we do something called Frugal February, where we do like no extra spending, only like whatever is budgeted for. And so like we don't buy anything extra. We don't like, it's kind of like a detox after the holidays, after all the bills are paid from Christmas. And so, yeah, because people don't realize how much emotional baggage and mindset plays into how they represent themselves in the marketing space and what they're trying to put out there to the world. So, yeah.
Well, excellent.
That's about it.
You're gonna like. We're gonna do a little interlude before the question of the week, and I think you'll have fun with that one.
I always have fun with the questions of the week.
Well, this is before the question. The question's pretty good, but this is better. Hey, so Domenic, how I think I've seen you over the holidays.
You did.
I think it's twice over the holidays, at least maybe 3 times over the holidays.
We've seen each other a couple of times. Yeah.
Yes, we're in our COVID bubble. What successes, what excesses, what is about the holidays for you?
Well, I mean, let's start with the excesses. I think we all suffer similar excesses during the holidays. So, an excess of food of all sorts, particularly cookies and sweet things, and very, very rich, decadent, high fat, prime ribs and braised foods and stews and things like that. So there was definitely excessive food, probably a little bit excessive drink, and that's to be expected during the holidays, right? Then you have to spend a lot of time working that off.
Last week, I didn't get involved in this bourbon craze or anything like that. I do have some bourbon here right now. Domenic told me how you're supposed to drink it. I thought you're just supposed to have a big giant glass of it and drink it sort of like Coca-Cola. But he said you just put a little bit in. You drink that and you sniff it, the bouquet of it, and roll it around your tongue, and then you pour another glass of it.
Well, it's not even that. You pull a very small glass and you take the tiniest of sips and you just let it sit there and kind of absorb into your tongue, as opposed to drinking it down. That's when it burns, right? If you're just like drinking it or taking shots of it, but that's not how you enjoy it. That's drinking to get drunk. That's not drinking to enjoy what you're having, right? Unless you just really want to get drunk, then that's a whole nother story. You don't need to spend money on good bourbon then.
You can drink.
I could introduce you to something called Old Crow at that point.
I think I've had Old Crow.
I'm not surprised.
So you go ahead.
I was gonna say that's the excesses. Successes since we've last been here. I've started one podcast, working on another podcast. So Clint and I and another couple of folks are working on the Joe Schmo sports show. We recorded our first episode of that this weekend, and that was pretty fun. And then I'm working on another project. Jenny knows about this. I can't announce it because I don't want somebody to steal my domain name, but yeah, but working on that.
Lincoln NDA.
Yeah. With our million other people,
Sorry, you have
get
a
everybody
pen?
to sign it.
Yeah.
There's that. I wrapped up the year strong in my business and earned several awards that just recently got shipped to me. So that was pretty cool. Got to spend a lot of extra time with family, and because it's been relatively nice. I mean, there's been a couple of cold days, a couple of rainy days, but there have been some great days to get out on this golf course and spend some time outside and enjoy doing that. So, that's what I've been doing for the last couple of weeks since you've seen me.
Well, that's terrific.
Yeah.
I have a question for everyone. Before we get to the question of the day, we have a little time this hour. How many of you are pirates? Okay. What's a pirate? A pirate is a free person. I feel, in my opinion, Sarah and I have been having discussions regarding this, that during this COVID situation, there's been a lot of talk that we're all in the same boat. We're not. We're all in really different boats. Mm-hmm. So people that, they have a job, luckily, knock on wood, they have a job if they've been able to keep their job. And I hope most people have. Their boss tells them this is the way they're going to do it. And that's the way they're going to do it. If the boss tells them they're going to work at home, they're going to work at home. If they have to come to the office, they're going to come into the office. But we're entrepreneurs. We're free people. We're like pirates, like ARG. Who here who identifies as a pirate can explain why they see themselves? Andrew, go right ahead.
Because no matter what, you're going to figure out a way, preferably legal and ethical, but it may not start that way, but that's the end goal, to get where you want to go and accomplish whatever dream or mindset or task you put your mind to. And then you reverse engineer it to where it is the massive enterprise you wanted it to be to begin with.
That's awesome. So you're out on your pirate ship. Who else here is a pirate? Caroline, tell me about how you're a pirate.
For me, I prefer the word maverick, because the thing is, your beliefs create your reality. So if you know how to effectively handle your beliefs, you can create any reality. You're not at the effect of a bad economy, a pandemic, or whatever. You can go where you please, do what, without affecting other people, of course. You've got to bear in mind other people. But for me, it's about knowing what you're here to do, living your purpose, supporting people around you, and feeling free from the everyday stresses and worries of something. Because if you can manage your belief, you can let go of a belief that may limit you.
Excellent. I think Rena's a pirate too, right?
Oh, I definitely feel like a pirate, although I like the term maverick that Carolyn used. I am on my own for the first time ever. I was in academics for all of my adult life. I was a teacher in college, and that's definitely being a part of a huge community, and you don't have a lot of autonomy. Unless you are in your classroom, and then you feel like you have some autonomy. But starting this business and becoming a solopreneur, I really feel like I am the master of my own ship, to carry that metaphor. I make the calls, I make the decisions, and I don't have to answer to anybody else about that. If I make a mistake, I self-correct and move on and try something else. And I don't spend a lot of time beating myself up for my mistakes. There's no one here to scold me. I learn and move on. So in that regard, maybe I am a pirate. Arg matey.
Right. So Jenny, as a pirate, do you find it invigorating and you feel free, or are you a little scared out in the open on your own?
I think it depends. I like, it depends on the day, the hour, the minute. Like, I think it's not, there's not a straight, that's a trick question. I would like another one. No, I think it depends on the situation, right? Because those of us who were, like, I was raised by entrepreneurs, so I had no idea how to deal with in like a corporate environment, right? Like my dad has his office in the basement. Like, I didn't know it was a thing that people's parents like were not always available, because mine were always available. And you know, so then like learning how to navigate in like a more corporate professional setting was weird for me. And then getting out of that professional corporate setting and getting back and like going back to my roots, so to speak, and like trying to negotiate through all of that it's all weird, right? And it all depends on the situation, right? Like nobody, there's you can read all the books and you can take all the classes and you can talk to all the people and you can get the mentoring and the coaching and all of that, but a lot of it you just have to experience. Mm-hmm. Right? Like you have to experience walking into a networking event for the very first time and putting yourself out there. You have to experience filing your LLC for the first time, or getting business insurance, or you know, sending that first introductory email, and all of those firsts that then you build that foundation on. So that it's like, you know, if we're using the pirate metaphor, then, you know, I mean, I'm not advocating, you know, pillaging and stealing of ships, but like you're building your own ship, right?
Well, I mean, I think if I elaborate a little more, it's when you speak to someone who has never worked for themselves, or they're just starting to be a free person, you know, we look like pirates to them. We look like aliens. Mm-hmm. They can't get it. They don't understand it. Writing your own check is just a very different thing. And it's almost as if the government isn't that big of a fan of it lately either. You know, they're not doing a lot to help us small businesses. They're throwing obstacles in our way, and we're just batting them out as fast as they can throw them out. We're batting them down. You know, even, you know, a company like Mia Francesca closing, it's a terrible, you know, tragedy. You know, that restaurant, you know, has hundreds of employees. I mean, it's an enormous space. But the people that own that restaurant, there's no question that when this is all over, they're gonna be fighting to open up again somewhere here in the Triangle. Wouldn't you agree, Chris?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, from what I understand, I believe they have like close to 18 restaurants, like overall, like the Francesco group. So I think they're doing okay. And don't get me wrong, I think that North Hill space was probably a little pricey. I mean, because that's one of the hottest areas in town, to be honest. But yeah, they should do good. Yeah.
And are you a pirate?
Well, you know, okay, so it's weird because so pirates still have to answer to the captain of the ship, right? I mean, in my mind, they still have to answer to somebody. So I guess you could say I'm a pirate. You know, as far as my treasures and my plunders, I have to go out and get it myself, you know, and nobody's going to just drop it off to me. So yeah, I'm a pirate. You know, I'm going to go out and make my own. And while me and the captain of the ship, you know, might not always see eye to eye, we still come to agreements on things. You know, it's still a democracy on our ship. So yeah, I'm a pirate.
Excellent. Hey, well, I do want to give an opportunity to some of you that are going away. We have time for you to answer the question of the week. And the question of the week is a little unusual. You know, we all make New Year's resolutions for ourselves, and we either keep them or we break them or we reevaluate them. What New Year's resolution would you make for your clients for this year? What's a New Year's resolution that you would like them to follow? And why don't we start with Chris? Do you like that question? He's shaking his head. Yeah, I like that one.
I do. I challenge all of my clients to take every single event they planned in 2020 and to revisit and go above and beyond what they planned on doing in 2020. Every single client.
Are you ready to plan an event with Rockstar Connect?
I'm absolutely ready to do that. I think it's about time for us to revisit now that the holidays are over. I took a 2-month hiatus, and now it's over. Let's get on it.
Let's do a safe live 3 martini lunch again. I guess we're all about ready for that.
Well, thanks to our collective brains and the way we put it together, I actually have another 70-person luncheon this weekend for the swearing in of all the government in Raleigh on Saturday.
Will you use a similar system like the one you and I developed?
Exactly the same system, to be honest. So
that was incredible. Never went to an event where food got out that quickly and everybody got what they wanted. So great job there. Yeah, so we'll talk this week for sure. Diego, New Year's resolution for your clients.
I would say what I would offer for them as a New Year resolution is not to wait to see what the government's going to do. I think when it comes to, you mentioned, pirates and how as entrepreneurs, we all go and do our own thing. We have all had to find ways to navigate the environment. We'd had to navigate the pandemic and have found in many cases successes, maybe not the same successes we planned at the start of 2020, but came out in our own ways. Chris is a great example with the way the restaurant was able to come out. I mean, you had to be creative. And so I would tell all my clients, don't sit and wait. If you haven't planned, if you haven't created an action plan for yourself, and I know the coaches on this call can appreciate where I'm going with this. If you haven't created an action plan that makes your business nimble and reliant on its best abilities, then you've got another decision that you get to make. But waiting for the government to make a decision for you is not the best action plan.
No, not at all. I mean, right now it's a matter of acting on what's the opportunities that are available today and how can you act on them. And if somebody's getting a commercial space right now and they're getting ready to vanilla box that, they still have a couple months to get all their, if they decide now, they have a couple months to get ready, right?
And that's a great scenario, but it might be somebody who needs to downsize. It might be somebody who needs to go work from home. It might need somebody who's tired working home because everybody's home and they need to go find their own space. So waiting to see what's going to happen is just more money being spent on a strategy of not working or waiting. The strategy on waiting isn't a strategy.
Well, my clients have asked me, they said, what's happening 6 months from now, what's happening 7 months from now, et cetera. And I'll say, well, if I knew that, I wouldn't be probably talking to you. I'd know what's happening 7 months from now and be working towards that. I don't know, but what I do know with certainty is what's happening right now. And it's a good way to determine where you're going to be 7 months from now. 7 months from now in real estate, there may be even less inventory than there is today, and you won't be able to purchase what you want to purchase.
But that's my point, Stephen.
Your house might be too small for you if we have another COVID situation. What were you going to say, Diego? Go ahead.
But that's my point. Like I challenge you to in the context that we don't know what's going to happen in 7 months, but I think we all have a pretty good feel for what we can make happen in 7 months given the current environment. If we know how much cash flow we have, if we know how much resilience and strategy and the action plan that we can put together, then I have a pretty good feeling that I'll speak for myself, and I don't mean to be insensitive to anybody who's had a difficult year, but where I'm at now didn't start in March. It started last year, and I was able to create a plan for myself that got me through this year. And it was, real estate was not what we thought it was going to be in March, and it ended up being better than it was. But that's not patting myself on the back. It's kind of like those people who say, oh, they became an instant success overnight. You just ignore the 10 years of work they did before that. So I'm a huge proponent for those who are coaches on this call. They know for anyone who's an overnight success will immediately tell you that that's ignoring all the time they spent planning before then. And for what it's worth, I didn't get a chance to answer the question. I would be the dreaded Pirate Roberts. That's who I would be.
Right. And, you know, in the business space, you know, where people are getting office space, et cetera, just because you're looking for office space outside of your home right now doesn't mean, and everything gets better and everyone can go out, that you shouldn't have a high quality home office today.
Mm-hmm.
Because the concept of the work week is stretched considerably what is considered, you know, appropriate time. I mean, I remember a time you never called a business, you know, before 9 or after 5. Do you remember that? And really, you didn't want to call after 4 because people are getting ready to go home. I mean, now there's no end of time when business occurs and where it may occur. Caroline, since you're going to be heading out in the next hour, let's go over to you. What New Year resolution would you like to make on behalf of your clients?
Well, you know, for me, it's pretty much the same as it always is. I want my clients to fulfill themselves, get what they want. I don't really tell people what they should do. I train people to trust themselves and how to actually do that. But when I get that text message, hey, I just sold a $2 million home, or I've met my ideal relationship, or they've just created a health issue, then that's it. So my New Year's resolution for them is for them to fulfill their lives and create whatever it is they want in their lives. And that's, for me, is the success.
Excellent. Jacqueline, I know you have to run, but do you have a chance to answer the question live before you go?
I will. Just type my message though, but I will. I think it's important that everyone becomes find equitable ways to not only grow and sustain their own businesses, but to work with others to do the same. We do that, I think we're headed in the right direction for greatness for 2021.
Excellent. And I sort of read what you wrote too, and I'm going to elaborate on it a little bit. You know, this is the year where we can go back to doing you know, business the way that we used to do it. Perhaps not, you know, 6 months ago or 7 months ago, but maybe the way we did it 20 years ago. Maybe a little bit more personal touch, maybe some handwritten letters, maybe spending, you know, more than 5 minutes on a telephone call with a client. I had a great time. I was able to call a few of my clients over the holidays, and they were just sort of a little bit surprised. And just, you know, asking them how they're doing and are they enjoying their house. And you know what? It actually created business. Like someone said, okay, I want to sell my house and I want to buy a house. That wasn't
part of relationship building.
It wasn't the expectation, Jacqueline, but it was the result.
Mm-hmm.
And I enjoyed doing it. So I guess my resolution, and I'm going to go to everyone else's, is for my clients are do things that you enjoy, and the results from it will be fantastic. Whether that be entertaining or writing letters or bye, Jackie. Thank you for being on today. All those great things. Now, Sarah, this holiday, we bought like 15 bottles of champagne, and she went with the kid and they stuck it in a little red wagon and they knocked on neighbors' doors, people we didn't even know, some of them, you know, because you don't necessarily know all your neighbors. Now we do, and gave them all a bottle of champagne. And people were giving her gifts when she was knocking on the door, and it was great fun. But I think it's going to have an impact on our business too, because now those people know what we do, who we are, and what we do for a living, and they're going to reach out to us. Arline, I know that you're only doing this hour. Do you have time?
I do. I have a few.
Answer the question. Great.
So I think everybody, not just my clients, but everyone should get involved in one way or another to do some social good, to do something good. If you love animals, if you love the environment, whatever you feel like is your, you know, your heartfelt cause, do something worthwhile for some other living being. Because it's so needed. I mean, it's been needed, but it's really needed now, especially when you see all those food lines. And, you know, through doing that and learning about people, and it doesn't have to be your intent, but that is how you meet others and grow. not just personally, but also professionally. So just do it, do something, go out of your comfort zone to do something worthwhile for others.
Can you give us like one example of something that someone could do possibly?
Oh my gosh, there's thousands of examples. You can go to the
one good one, something that you're planning on doing this year.
Well, I'm not planning on doing this particular thing, but I'm an animal lover, and go to the Humane Society and walk some dogs. Get them out of their cages, play with them for a few minutes. That's one easy thing to do. What I do is I like to donate to, I get all the junk mail, but I donate before Christmas to the ones that double your gift or triple your gift. So it might only be, $20 or $30, but I know that it's going to be doubled or tripled, so I could spread it out among several if I'm only donating like $35, but it's going to be doubled. So that's what I do every year at this time or in December.
I love that resolution. I mean, that's great. Something to keep in mind, you probably have some people in your neighborhood that are, elderly, that previously they had their family, visited them a lot. And because of COVID, they can't do that because they can't get a test every single time they see their parents. Maybe asking if they need something or not even asking, just doing something for them. Just knocking on the door, do a wellness check, see if they need anything. I think that everyone here can commit to looking around their neighborhood and seeing if anyone needs that. Why don't we do that this week as a group? Do you guys agree with that? Who's going to
Totally.
reach out in our neighborhood?
Something I did this week that was really easy to do. The homeless population here in Tulsa has exploded during COVID, and there's a tremendous need for just socks and blankets. And so I went to Dollar General and bought all of their socks, and went to Walmart and got some inexpensive but warm blankets, and just took a boatload of stuff down to the day center for the homeless. And it took a couple of hours is all.
Oh, that's a great idea. Excellent idea. Okay, so Clint just came on, and Norma came on, and Kate came on. I know that Chris is going. Chris, did you get to share your resolution?
Well, what I challenged everybody to book more parties this year. That was my resolution.
That's a good one. 100%, right. So let's go over to Clint. So Clint, you're doing this from a different location.
I'm just in my bedroom because I just got off another call.
Okay, well, I'm glad you're here on with us. So the question for the second hour, the first question of 3 Martini lunch for the new year, is what New Year's resolution would you make on behalf of your clients that they should follow?
I think Arline had a really good one. And if they're your clients at this point in time with the way relationships work, then they're probably your friends. And I think that getting them, encouraging people to get out in the community and doing things. I love the dog idea. Because there's a lot of people for some odd reason that like to give dogs as pets to people. To presents to people that have no need or no desire or no way of taking care of said animal. And so a lot of them end up at the shelter this time of year. And so doing something like that, I think that's a great idea. And I will actually encourage my clients to do something like that as well.
You know what might be? A lot of people have adopted pets now because of COVID.
Sure.
And many of them probably are not even equipped to take care of those pets.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Maybe make a post on your own personal Facebook page who recently adopted a pet and needs a little help with that pet.
Well, if I had a Facebook page, I definitely would.
You can do it on LinkedIn.
On your LinkedIn, Clint, on your LinkedIn.
I know, Jenny. And Stephen, by the way, love this. Wondering how Sarah feels, but love this.
She's the one who asked me to try it out.
Okay.
Because we see each other every single day. Variety is the spice of life. My mother said I look like Peter Ustinov, and I said I don't know whether that's a compliment or not. but he was an attractive, portly gentleman. So if it worked for him, maybe it'll work for me.
Yeah, I'm sure it will. I like it, Stephen.
Thank you. I'll wear it for you.
Yeah. Oh, and also I wanted to say something along these same lines. I talked to Sarah about this a couple weeks ago, last time we were on 3 Martini. I've talked to Jenny and I've talked to Dom and I've already talked to Katie. We are going to arrange something for whoever that's a part of this Rockstar community that wants to go down to Charleston in May and help Katie with her next bike reveal.
Excellent. That's a great idea. And maybe some people will come from California too.
Yeah. Come on, Ray.
In Oklahoma.
Bring you and them red kicks down here, bro.
Norma's dying to come to Raleigh. She wants to see what it's like. You've been here, haven't you, though? You've been to Raleigh, North Carolina, right, Norma? You have.
Yes, I have, and I don't plan on coming back in May. Sorry, Katie, but
okay.
Nope, that won't be me.
So Ray Fuentes out in Sacramento. So we just did a little commerce out in Sacramento. We bought a car from an auto dealership there. Maybe right down the street from you, and they're going to be sending it tomorrow.
Okay. What kind of car did you get?
What did we get out there? A Range Rover.
Okay.
Yeah, we're really excited about
That's very exciting.
It was supposed to be shipped yesterday. But they didn't do it, so we had to switch companies, and I was really sort of mad. I'm like, I'm going to fly out to Sacramento and drive the vehicle back. And when I saw,
you should have just called me. I would have done it for you.
You drive it out to us. Well, that makes sense because you'll come see your daughter who's here.
Exactly. And it would be all business for me.
I found out there's a lot of mountains in between like California and here, and that would have been the longest trip I've ever done. And doing it by myself, I decided I'll find another shipping company and I'll wait for it to come.
Very long drive.
It's not the mountains that get you, Stephen. It's everything in between the mountains where it's nothing but flat nothing. That's where you lose it.
You've seen me fall asleep in a chair.
Yes.
In my house with people around. So probably not a good idea for me to drive from California by myself in a vehicle with nothing to do. And I'm the type of driver that I stop like every time I have to go use the restroom, where I want to drink, or like a 5-hour trip takes me 10 hours. So it's definitely going to have to be shipped. So Ray, you're out there in California. Did you hear the question you missed? You don't know what the question of the week is. Okay, so the question of the week is, we know that you made a New Year's resolution, but we'd like you to make a New Year's resolution on behalf of your clients and colleagues for the new year, for 2021.
Okay.
The question, you want to answer it now, or do you want me to come back?
I'll be happy to answer it now. So let's take a look at colleagues first, because I'm a real estate agent. I know a lot of real estate agents, and frankly, they're frustrated with low inventory. We have a lot of buyers, but no inventory. So for my colleagues to get out there and get some new listings so that they can help their sellers and their buyers. And for clients, one of the things that's interesting in California, maybe there too, is we go back and forth in lockdowns frequently and can't even go to a restaurant. Can't, and I'm sure some of the places, other states, you not even supposed to meet your family except outdoors, and no more than 3 families. So for my clients, an opportunity to spend time, live time with family and friends.
That's a great resolution. As far as real estate and talking to your colleagues, I was saying that over the break I called a lot of my past clients as they popped into my mind, as I saw them on social media, and I was able to pick up some buyers and sellers that way. And one of the things I found when I spoke with them is they said, well, we figure you're so busy now because the real estate market's so busy, we've been holding off calling you.
Don't do that.
I'm sure that's probably could be the way it is in a lot of industries right now. Everyone's seeing you with a much larger online presence. They may not realize that Norma has a coaching slot, or Rena has a coaching slot, or Jenny is taking on new clients. I mean, you can be a victim of your own success. I mean, Jenny has a great podcast. People see her, and they probably say, gosh, she must have so much customers, and she's so expensive, I can't even call her. I can't afford Jenny. But maybe Jenny has to call them and say, look, I need a couple bucks. I got kids, and, we can work out a deal. Right, Jenny?
My
So
response
Jenny,
is always, I'm a good business investment.
Right. So why don't you share with us what your resolution is for your clients for this year?
If I could write a resolution for my clients, it would be to get out of their own way. That is my number one pep talk, Jennyism, get out of your own way. I say it to I feel like I say it to everybody all the time. No, when it comes to putting out content that sells without being salesy on your digital platforms, your website, your LinkedIn, your email campaigns, your social media platforms, like y'all, the 3 people that see your video tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock are going to love it because it's going to be your mom and your bestie and your cousin from Sacramento. Okay. Like you have so much to offer. And by holding back and letting the fear talk and letting all the objections and all the crap that gets in the way, take the reins, you are doing your audience a disservice because you're not sharing your gifts. And when you don't share your gifts, right, like you are not in alignment, and that's going to create more anxiety and more fear, and it becomes this never ending,
well, it's that fear of perfection. They don't get started. They don't even get started. There's someone in the market, and she's a very nice lady, and sort of a shy type of person, a little bit neurotic. But in the meantime, in the last year, she has produced 1,800 hours of YouTube content.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine how many phone calls she's getting from buyers from out of state right now? I mean, it's crazy. The money is really, the secret is the money is laying on the ground. The money is all over the place, leaning on the floor. But if you don't bend over to get it, you're not going to pick it up. And I think a lot of people, I want the kids to bring me the remote control because they're my kids and they're my personal slaves. But my friends, relatives, and clients, they're not going to do that because they're all pirates like me, But if I ask them for help, or I ask them for business clients, recommendations, and referrals, they always give them.
Mm-hmm.
But how many people are sitting home today and they're just like, I don't have any business? You did the work. People like you. They trust you. Get on a phone call. 100%. There's some people, if I don't hear from them or they don't hear from me, we get nervous because, what's going on? We need to, not just assume that we're going to be speaking with each other. So, like Rhonda called me last night. Rhonda said, are you still my friend? I haven't heard from you in 2 weeks. Not to mention, for some reason, she didn't get a 3 Martini lunch invitation. But Rhonda, what is your New Year's resolution that you'd like to make on behalf of your clients? And she really is good on this because she offers so much to people and they don't take her up on it all the time. So what would your resolution be for them?
It would be to be consistent. One of the biggest things that I see is that, especially on LinkedIn, people are not consistent. And, I loved what you said, Jenny, because, the problem is that people will put up a post and then, a week later, they might put up another post. They never bother to engage with other people's posts. They never share. And so what I would say is, number one, come from a position of always giving first, right? I think that, if that's where we come from, it's kind of like, if you think of it as a bank, right? You have to make a deposit before you can make a withdrawal. So when you look at all those posts that are out there, take the time to put a thoughtful comment, to like it, and to share it. And then in your own posting, whether you hire somebody like Jenny to do it, which is great, you do it yourself, what you want to do is just be consistent. And I got to tell you, the other day, I was very specific about how am I going to put a post up for New Year's, right? Because people are looking at it. So I actually found somebody else's post. I don't know where this guy got it. Jenny, I'd love to ask you offline if you can look at it and tell me where this content came from, because it was amazing. So all I did was just share it with a few comments of my own, a couple hashtags, all right? I'm up to over 42,000 views. I've got almost 600 likes, and I don't even know how many comments, and it wasn't even my post. But here's the thing, I would tell everybody, be consistent, and here's the other thing, follow up. So what I did was I looked at those 500 and plus people that actually took the time to click the like button, and I reached out to some of them and I said, wow, thank you so much for liking that post. I'd love to jump on a call and see how New Year's, how last year went for you. It was really challenging for most people. And then here's the magic words that I put in. I say, I promise we'll keep the call in the no sales zone. So they know they're not getting a sales pitch. And, at the end of the day, what happened, and Stephen, this was actually kind of interesting because I said, do you know who Stephen David Elliott is with Rockstar Connect? And like, no. I said, well, you got to check it out. I'm going to introduce the two of you. So you never know where that's going to go. But look at the people that we're sitting here with, like Norma, who is amazing. If you have not checked out Norma Hollis, you need to check this woman out. She's phenomenal. And all of you are. I mean, all of you, Domenic, everybody, right? So I guess that's what I would say. Just, give before you take, be consistent. And the last thing that I teach my clients, and this is kind of, the practice that I teach them, learn 4 words. I need your help. What's the worst that could happen? Somebody's going to say no. Okay, great. But, the help that you're asking for isn't always for you. I need your help. I have a friend who has this amazing platform called Rockstar Connect, and he's looking for amazing guests to go on his 3 martini lunch. Who do you know? Maybe it's them. So that's what I would do.
That's fantastic advice. Are you doing any, for the new year, are you doing any LinkedIn webinars? Anything that people can check out?
I am, and I'm also coming out with a course where I'm teaching people how to do their own profile. Because most of the time, some people don't want it done for you. There are people that actually like to do it themselves. So I'm coming out with that. And then, and I'm available actually for anybody that has a group that, that wants to put me in front of them to do an educational webinar or a masterclass on LinkedIn. And I have a couple of them coming out actually. I was just invited to 2 virtual summits where I'm speaking on those as well. So yeah, it's my favorite thing to do.
Great. Who would really benefit from that? Ray and John. John, you there, John? Can you hear me?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking, wouldn't it be great, for you and Ray to have Rhonda do a webinar on how to do your own LinkedIn?
Dude, you have no idea.
For your agents.
I haven't been here for a while, right?
Yeah, I'm glad you're back.
And I didn't want to, but I've been busy. I'm proud to announce that I am about to launch a new real estate school. I put it in the chat. Thank you, Rhonda. I do need help. Let's see, let's push the enter button. Boom. I am now starting the J. Raymond Real Estate Institute, fully licensed real estate school in North Carolina. I'm working through the process now. That's what I've been doing for the last few weeks, Stephen. I apologize for not being here, but I've been busy getting this school off the ground. So and I need your help.
ERA, in addition to ERA, or
this would be my school, and what I want to do with it, I'll be the school will be J. Raymond and Associates LLC. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to license it out to different locations. So there'll be a Wilkinson ERA location. There'll be an ERA Livermore location in Raleigh. There'll be, an EXP location in Charlotte. So there'll be different remote campuses, so to speak, but it'll all be done virtually. But the idea is getting this thing up off the ground. I'm going to need help. So if you guys know anybody in website design, I need an e-commerce site to take payments, content. Rhonda, your course is great. I'm reaching out to people and saying, look, give me an hour. What I'm going to do is there's also going to be another division that's called React, Real Estate Agent Coaching and Training, where it'll be a paywall, a pay platform, either pay per view or pay membership, to where people like Rhonda and any of you can give me an hour. You know, give me a seminar, a lecture, an hour, 4 hours, a 6-week course that can be monetized for benefit of everyone. So big plans, big ideas.
Those are excellent ideas, and I, definitely connect with Rhonda. Real estate agents have notoriously bad LinkedIn and have no idea how to use it.
Well, John, if I can interrupt for 1 sec, reach out to me, because I have a contact that actually wrote a book called How the Top 1% of Real Estate Agents Recruit Top Teams. And he has a system so that you can actually fill those schools with top agents. So reach out to me and I will make an introduction. And he's actually right in Greensboro, North Carolina.
Beautiful. Thank you.
So John, while we have you talking, what would be the resolution that you would like to make for your colleagues, your students, and your clients?
I've heard it stated in a couple different ways. All of my agents want to increase productivity, every one of them. So my New Year's resolution for my agents is to take action. I don't need the home run. I'm not asking for a home run. I'm not asking for a grand slam, bases clearing grand slam. I'm asking for a swing, a bunt, a squib single. Just do something today, and then do something tomorrow, and then build upon that day after day. You don't have to make, you don't have to clear the chasm in one jump, but by all means, take some action.
You have to take action, and especially in real estate. I remember back when I first, started in real estate, and I had a big real estate class. There were like 38 people over in, working with Ebb, and when he was with
Howard Perry Walston.
With Howard Perry and Walston, I was sitting there with like 20 people complaining about how they had no business. I said that, and I was thinking to myself, the problem is you're sitting here complaining to each other about not having business. And I told them, well, I'm going to go get my hair cut. I'm going to go to the tailor. I'm going to go to the grocery store, and I'm going to go get myself a client.
Yeah.
And didn't get past getting my hair cut. The person who was cutting my hair said, she was interested in real estate. And I said, did you want to buy your own home? She said, yes. And I said, when do you get off work? And that was my first buyer, and we put her under contract that day. So
Barbers and bartenders, they know everybody.
Go to bartenders. Your hair salon is a great place to get business, guys. Those people know what everyone needs because they've had conversations with everyone. Those are some great resolutions. Rena, did you get an opportunity to give your resolution?
I didn't give my resolution yet.
Okay.
My resolution for my clients is 2021 is the year to improve your public speaking at whatever level you happen to be. This is the year to get that under control. People don't realize that they may spend years and years mastering their content. And then when they share their content, they just hope the voice and the body come along for the ride. And there may be some things about the way we use our voice or the way we use our body that is off-putting or that gets in the way of the message. This is the year to do that. If you want to do a TED Talk, this is the year to put it together, to rehearse it and get it out there. Get your message out there. I've created a course called Speak Like a Pro Academy. It's a 10-week deep dive into various aspects of voice, speech, and presentation. And someone can take the 10 weeks and come out at the end with a TED Talk ready to go on the TED Talk stage or something equivalent to that. So this is the year to spruce up, to level up your public speaking skills.
Excellent, thank you. And Andrew, before you drop off, do you want to share your resolution for your clients?
Yeah, for clients, friends, family, pretty much everybody, it's all the same. None of these tools we've used in the past 10 months are really new. They've been around. It's just now they're more mainstream. So just to encourage everyone to trust in the process more. Yes, Big Brother's listening. We all get that. We all have Siri and Google, but get over it. It's the way we communicate now. It's the way business is done. Jenny has hers in her hand for some reason. You know, lean into that process. And if your agent or your vendor goes more virtual or more techie, embrace it. Don't push away from it, because it just makes the process harder now.
Understood. Great resolution. And thank you for being with us this week, Andrew. You have
As
permission.
always, Stephen.
And see, he's really a pirate. He's got the pirate flag there and everything. So Norma, you don't know what we're talking about pirates, but we said that entrepreneurs and small business owners are the pirates of today. We're the free people, the mavericks, and that's how people sort of see us. They don't totally understand us, but they find us very, very exciting.
Yes.
Okay. What resolution, through the perspective that you have of authentic self, what resolutions are you making for your friends, your clients, your colleagues for the new year? You have the ability to make that resolution for them. We'll see if they keep it.
Yeah. Well, my resolution would be to tweak one thing every 90 days. So, you know, I'm about transformation and helping people become more authentic. And the bottom line that I usually tell them, you know, transformation doesn't happen all at once. It's not like a fell swoop and all of a sudden you're different, you change. It's one step at a time, one small thing. And once the small things turn into big things. And normally I usually tell them to just tweak one thing. But now with your recommendation and with your question, I thought about that, and I'm going to have them tweak one thing every quarter. Usually I say try it for 30 to 90 days, but now every 90 days, tweak one thing. For an example, you know, out here in LA, you know, traffic is crazy, and I work at home like many of us do. This was about a year ago, and I was coming from Santa Monica back to where I live in Inglewood, and I was on Pico, which is a pretty busy street, and it took 5 lights to go 1 block. So this is crazy. And the whole line of people was just, you know, roboting, going and going, you know, same thing. That's all I got to do, make a right turn and a left turn, and I'll be home in no time. And that's called tweaking one thing. It's a small thing, but my whole attitude changed, because if I stayed there, I'd have lost hours, I would have lost time, my attitude would have been really messed up. So by tweaking one small thing consistently, eventually you have big change in your life.
I mean, I think it's in a situation like that, that's just being truthful to your authentic self. You're not the type of person who's going to wait in a line that's going to go nowhere.
Not at all.
Why go through the motions of doing that for absolutely no reason when you can just make a right turn and maybe drive a mile more and get out from where you need to be? So many conversations I have with people is that they're usually talking about their relationship with other people that they're possibly friends with or they're going to go into business with. And they always say, well, I have a problem with this person, or I think I can help this person, but I don't know about how to go about doing it. I tend to be a pretty blunt person. I feel the best thing to do is just say what you're going to say and let the cards lie. People appreciate the truth.
Sometimes I have a friend who assured me, Norma, always tell me the truth. Tell me the truth all the time. Now she won't talk to me. So
that's going to be that's temporary.
I hope so.
I'm sure she took it for what it's worth and is attempting to, put that information to good use. I'd rather people be truthful to me.
I would rather be. Yeah. I would tell her I would lie for her, but not to her. So it's a difference. Yeah.
100%. Katie,
by the way, I like your beard. I like your beard too. It looks great.
Thank you. It's not that itchy anymore. It was a little itchy in the beginning.
Yeah, it looks good.
I rubbed beard oil in it yesterday for the first time, and the puppy really likes beard oil.
Never knew they had something like beard oil. That's interesting.
The dog was like eating my face. I was very, very nervous because that little puppy is now as big as the big dog.
Right. I remember that. Cool.
So, Katie, welcome. How are you doing?
Oh, good to see everybody again.
Did you have a good holiday? Did you have a successful holiday?
I did. I basically haven't worked since the bike reveals, little bits here and there, but like I really needed a few weeks off and some time off, but I'm back at it this week and excited for the year. It's going to be a really, really busy, good year.
Well, I think what you've really accomplished is you can accomplish things without actually working, because you've integrated. No, like really, like your social media is like a constant reminder that someone, you know, owes a bike donation.
It's like
Yeah.
I'm working when I'm not working. I'm
You're
always
staying on
working.
they're staying on
Yeah.
their radar to keep their promises to you.
Right.
Right.
Yep.
It's like when someone owes you money, if they see you on Facebook, they start thinking, okay, well, he's still alive, so
Yeah.
I still.
I mean, I deposited almost $23,000 in checks yesterday of donations that we got in the end of November and December. And so, and another, God, I mean, was one, the Charleston port here, the gate company that controls the trucks coming out of the gate. The guy that is in charge of that, he has raised over $21,000 for us in a month and a half. And he just texted me right now. He's like, I have another check for you. And that was through 4 emails he sent out to people.
Not bad for not working.
Right. Like, I mean, literally money's coming in, which has been so great. I mean, I don't have our final count on what we made at the end of this year, but I think, you know, last year I raised about $78,000 in November and December. And this year, I think it'll be closer to 60, but still maybe I don't know. That's my estimate. So it's a little bit less, but it's also a global pandemic. So I feel like still pretty good considering everything.
That's
it's
terrific.
a good end of year.
So you have the opportunity now. The question in this week is, what resolution will you make for your friends, your colleagues, your clients for the new year that you'd like them to keep?
Well, I guess when I answer that question, I'm thinking more about my online course because I don't really have clients as a nonprofit. We have donors and supporters. But as you know, someone who has an online course and tries to teach people how to start their nonprofits, you know, I would like people to keep their motivation. A lot of people will sign up for my course and then they're not doing it. And I'm like, you're paying me money. Like, I'm here to help you. Why are you not using me? Why are you not like, get it started? I think there's a huge fear of the commitment. This isn't a learn how to lose, you know, 30 pounds in 5 months. It's not like this is like it's a committing to starting like another company basically and making a commitment to the public. And I think people panic at that thought when it becomes real. And so I want people to commit to it this year and follow through with it and let me help them. I'm here. I mean, and I can help them get it going fast. And I want them to commit to letting that happen.
Excellent. And you know, I know that you see the people that donate to you, those donors, but they're also clients too, because they get a big payoff. And
right. I mean, what I do is basically sales all day. Like, yeah.
You know, they're improving their community. They're getting tax write-offs.
So I guess to the donor clients, I would say commit to supporting us again this year, like you did last year.
And we will buy at least two more bikes this year. And hopefully when we have some more live networking events, we'll encourage our hosts to do some fundraisers as well around the country.
That would be awesome. Thank you.
I know that, you know, that Ray would like to do that, and Domenic and Rhonda for sure, and Norma. Domenic.
Awesome.
Domenic, what is a New Year's resolution that you'd like to make for your clients, your friends, your family?
You make a plan and set goals, right? Because the biggest issue that I think people have is they want things, but they don't write down what they want, and then they forget about it, and they never actually plan to get there. So, you know, you see people making the same New Year's resolutions over and over and over again. Yeah, I want to lose weight. I want to get, I want to pay off all my debt. I want to get my financial house in order. I want to go on this vacation or that, whatever it is that they do or want to do, but they don't accomplish it. Right. So, you know, for family and for clients, I want people to make a plan, because if you don't, you end up with an ad hoc plan as by default, right? So you're choosing to make a plan that's to do nothing.
Right. So, Diego is talking about he would like people to make decisions now, regardless of what they know will happen in 7 months.
Right. Well, if you decide not to do anything, that's a decision too, right? You're deciding to put it off and just, like I said, continue to bounce from moment to moment and not really accomplish anything. And I think that's the difference between successful and unsuccessful people. Is successful people know what they want, they set the goal, they write the goal down, and then they figure out how to make it happen, and they write down the process, and then they follow the process, right? And that's what I'm here to do with my clients, is help them figure out what the goal is and help them determine how to get there, and then kind of give them a nudge to do the things that they need to do to make it to that goal. I think a lot of times people are really, it's almost like there's a fear of being successful. It's like, well, I won't be ready to do that until I get to this point or until this happens, right? And so they don't ever do anything, and they don't ever go anywhere. There's always like a ready-made excuse to be unsuccessful. So, if I could just make that resolution for somebody else, it would be, let's have a conversation. Rhonda can help you with your LinkedIn promotion goals, and Stephen, you can help them with their networking goals and their real estate goals, and Rena can help them with their public speaking goals. I can help them with their financial goals, and encourage them, just like everybody else here that are professionals and successful people, to write down what you want, and let's talk about how we get there. And if you don't know what you want, let's brainstorm that. And I'm sure we're going to come up with some things that you didn't even realize that you wanted, but as soon as we verbalized them out loud, yeah, you definitely really want that.
So can I add something to you, Dom?
Please.
Got to encourage them to do the work, because
that's
scared to do the work. So it's not, I mean, scared of success, yes, because that's a thing. But I think it's more of a scared to do the work type thing.
Well, they don't know what it takes.
I think it goes even beyond that. I am a big fan of low-hanging fruit. I think that people feel that it's taking a shortcut going for the low-hanging fruit, and they have to do things in the most difficult, most complicated manner possible. But try to find out first. My recommendation is try to find out what your goal is, and then find the easiest, least painful way to get there. Along that path, certainly you're going to find hiccups, bumps, and pain, but you're going to have immediate success. When you're starting a journey, it starts with one step. Like right now, John is doing something in real estate that real estate should have done 10 years ago. I mean, there's no reason that why real estate schools could not have been accessible virtually a year ago, 2 years ago, right, John?
Yeah, it just took a little COVID to push North Carolina into it, but you're right. I mean, and they should be, the firms themselves should be active in teaching real estate.
I mean, real estate agents are technology addicts. We adapt a lot of the stuff first as far as tools and technology. Our education should be provided to us that way. And when I was listening to Rena, what I thought was really cool is when I even 5 years ago, 6 years ago, if you were talking about a course, and Katie, you have a course, Rhonda, you have a course, I'm working on my second course, Ray has a course, people would say, well, is it accredited? And like, what's that person's accredited? That's not the important thing anymore. It's like, where are you going to get the knowledge? I mean, there are 10-year-olds out there that probably know more about marketing than every one of us on this panel. Are we going to wait until they get a PhD in order to learn from them? Rena, you're sort of giggling. What are your thoughts on that? Unmute yourself so we can hear your voice.
Okay, I don't know what it was I was chuckling about, the waiting for the prodigy to get his PhD before we pay attention. We do need to be paying more attention to people around us who have expertise, regardless of how they got it, regardless of the path to which they got their expertise, just being aware that there are things and people in our environment that help us to grow, and intentionally being aware and reaching out to those sources, regardless of their age, regardless of how they got there. If they know something you don't know, spend some time with them.
100%. Rhonda, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I absolutely agree. And I thought it was kind of funny when you said, yeah, we're waiting for them to get the PhD, but the reality is that most people invent their own certifications. In fact, I have a client who, and this is a true story. I had mentioned to my client, who was a divorce attorney, she wanted to get out of litigation. And I said, why don't you become a divorce coach? She goes, there's no such thing. I said, no, there's actually a certification. And my client made up the certification as a certified divorce coach. Now, granted, she went to the Bar Association and got them to put their little stamp of approval, but it's all made up, right? So, I'm a certified face reader. Does anybody know what that means? It means I went to Dallas 4 times, took courses, and now I read people's faces, and I can call myself a certified face reader, and I can go out and certify people. So I love what you said. It's so cool. It's like we can make this stuff up, right?
I mean, you have to be able to identify, your expertise. I mean, Domenic comes from, an old back. I would say that he's a great raconteur. You know what I mean by that? You tell a great story, and some people they learn best that way from hearing a story, regardless of the fact that you have a culinary degree and you're a financial person. You can teach people through your stories how to be an independent person and how to be an entrepreneur, and that's the education that most people need. And when Katie became, left being an educator and left behind her education degree, she had a little bit of fear. But luckily, I think, and from the stories you told, Katie, you really had no other choice. You weren't going to be able to stay being a teacher because you were limited. And then, with John, with these real estate schools, one of my criticisms of real estate schools, and this is not universal, because there are some real estate educators, and usually at every school there's 1 and 2 that are amazing, just phenomenal. But the others sort of fall into the category of those who can do and those that can't teach in real estate. They're not producers, they can't make money, so they go and they teach real estate. But now with virtual, you can have educators, the best of the best, cream of the crop from all over the country. And so many of them would, volunteer their time because they just want to impact their industry. We're here, of course, many of us get business from 3 Martini Lunch. I've heard about how businesses pass back and forth, but it's a desire to share what we've learned so other people can grow, and we make our contribution to all the rest of those pirates out there to help them to achieve their authentic self. And that's my segue to Norma, so that she can comment on what we've been discussing.
I'm sorry, I got lost there for a moment.
I'll pull you back in. So what we're saying is there's a lot of people out there with expertise, and never in history have we had the opportunity to share that expertise. And
yeah, well, I have an online school, which I took all of the things I wrote for the last 30 years and put them all online as a school. And I don't use it so much for general marketing, which I will in time, but I use it now because I have also 2 certification programs, one for speakers and one for coaches. And I put them through the school class by class along with group coaching. And I really want to brag because in the last 4 days, I closed seven people for my group coaching program, which I'm really excited about. So it's a new system that I have. And yes, you get Rhonda the LinkedIn help for sure. I did a lot of the advertising through them. Rhonda did that for me. But yes, people have, gifts come. People have gifts and knowledge comes. I tell speakers that you want to focus on your passion, your experience, and or your expertise. And there should be passion in anything that you do. So your experience means, what have you done that's different than other people? And people have done that. Maybe you've won a lottery, or maybe the oldest of 12 children, or just something that's been really unusual. And what's your expertise? We've all done something for 10 or 20 years that we've become expert in, whether we have a degree or not. The degree is in life experience. My master's is in life experience. And I believe in the experience of life more than the experience of books, because I think that's what entrepreneurs do. We learn as we go, and that's how we grow. But to me, that's the life experience. To me, is more powerful. I have met over the years many of PhDs who have no common sense, but many entrepreneurs who have no educational sense, and the entrepreneurs are happier and doing better in life than those that think they know everything.
Well, I mean,
by
it's entrepreneurs. We stand on the shoulders of other great entrepreneurs like Dale Carnegie and Zig Ziglar and others like that. But what we're finding is we have great value. So this is perfect fodder for Jenny, because this is our content, right? This is what we should be sharing. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Well, so I feel like there's a lot of buzzwords around, not I feel like there's a lot of buzz around these words like authenticity and vulnerability and being your authentic self and doing like all of this stuff. When it comes down to like, when you have whatever your message is, if you're clear on your message and you're talking in the right space, you're going to reach the right people, right? Like it's going to take time, but you can get that visibility. You can get that. So there's no like magic. There's no like potion or fairy dust that I'm going to sprinkle on you to say, poof, you're authentic. Like
I mean, you have to determine that on your own. But like you buy an oven and it says, don't stand on oven door.
Right.
That's because there are some people that don't know that they should not stand on an oven door. So assume a lot of the things that you expect to be commonplace and, a given in whatever your field is, that other people, it's a great mystery to them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in
right.
real estate, Ray, all the time, people contact you. They really, really super smart people, and they know absolutely nothing about real estate.
Right.
They don't even know where to start.
That's where like when we get nervous, when we get anxious, right, we default to that business speak, right? We speak what we know. Mm-hmm. And we sound like giant a-holes to everybody else because we're speaking what we know and totally missing the point that the communication isn't for us, it's for them, right? Communication is always for those to whom you're speaking, right? It's not, when you're talking, I should say, I mean, not all communication, obviously, but it's all directed at your audience. So you're like, they're going to know when you're being fake. They're going to know when you get nervous and start with the business speak. They're going to know, when you're trying to assert your expertise rather than just be like, hey, like, did y'all know there's intrinsic power in saying, I don't know? I don't know the answer to that, but let me find out for you.
Are we better at identifying fake people nowadays?
I think so. I think that's one huge benefit of 80% of consumption of content is video, right? Like there's a reason that, oh God, who are those guys that my son watches on? There's this guy called Beast. He's from Greenville.
Mr. Beast.
Mr. Beast, thank you, Domenic, because I know Jared probably watches him too. And he sits there and records videos of him like scratching lottery tickets. Like he went out and bought $50,000 worth of lottery tickets because he can and scratches it. Like people watch this, right? Because and he built his brand on him. Who are they? It's Jake and Ryan Paul. Is that the other Jake Paul? Right? I don't know. Somebody bought their assistant a Jeep. I don't know. Nicholas like brings these, Mommy, you have to watch this video. And I'm like, okay. But the reason that they work is because they're just being them. And I'm telling you, like these kids know what's up. So if you want to have a test for some content, throw it in front of your kid because they're going to tell you if it works or not.
I'm finding now I'm speaking to a lot of, younger salespeople on the phone because everything is done over the phone nowadays. And I'm speaking to them and I hear older people, they say, older people will say, let me be honest with you, or let me be truthful with you, or
because you weren't being that way before.
They don't say that. They just are honest and truthful.
Mm-hmm.
All warts and all, whether you're going to be uncomfortable or not.
Mm-hmm.
it seems to be a shift in the way people are selling, and I don't know whether maybe it's just a natural progression that because all this information is available, you might as well cut to the chase, cut out the bullshit, and be honest.
Yeah, I think people want the balance too. People want the real life like shit show, and they want you to look polished and Pinterest pretty, right? Like they want to be able to see that you are multifaceted. They want to be able to see that you are human, right? Because there are days that, well, more of them pre-COVID and hopefully more post-COVID, that we would get dressed up and put on, fancy shoes and a fancy outfit and go out, right? And now it's like we just look fancy from the shoulders up, and that's cool, right? Like
Sarah says that and those of you who are listening to the program, Sarah Elliot is the co-creator of Rockstar Connect. She's the producer of this show. She said that when this is all said and done, people are going to want to start getting dressed up again. They're going to want to go to restaurants and meet with one another and do some old-fashioned networking, what it's all about.
Yep.
Maybe, but
doing it.
I'm not sure if I ever want to wear pants again. like long pants. I wear shorts, right?
You were wearing long pants this weekend, weren't you, when you went out?
I was, but it was cold. I went out of the house. Actually, no. When I came over, I was in shorts because we were playing disc golf before we saw you.
Yeah. So, I just, John, you've been a sales trainer for a very long time and a sales professional. What are the new sales professionals like? What's the difference? What makes them better or worse?
Technology, hands down. The people that are coming into my industry from wherever they've been, the best are adept at technology, and those are the ones that are making a difference. It's, sales has always been about developing relationships, doing business with people that like and trust, and that's still there. But now the newer sales professionals are coming in and they're looking at technology as a bigger part of their presentation, as a bigger part of their business. Unfortunately, I think some of them are taking shortcuts by not understanding the dynamics of personalities and how that works with sales. But I would have to say that the biggest change over the last 30 years that I've been doing this is technology and how quickly you can use it, or how fast you're exposed as being, I don't know, old. I hate to say it that way because, I look at me, I mean, I'm not 20 something, but, yet here I am on, can handle this stuff. So it's not really age, but you've got to have some ability to keep up with technology. I don't think you can
bullshit anyone anymore. Pardon my French, and tell a client that technology is unnecessary to help sell your home.
Yeah.
It's being out of touch. I wouldn't say old. I'd say it's being you're either in touch or you're out of touch.
That's a good way to put it.
Certainly not keeping up with your skills. Hey, we're coming up to the end of the show. Does anyone want to have a last word on New Year's resolutions before we go? Anyone? Ray, you've been a little quiet today. You okay? You're a little bit. So, Dominic, go ahead.
I was just going to say, even though the new year, it's kind of an artificial construction. There's, what's the difference between the last day of the old year and the first day of the new year? But it does allow you to, ready yourself for a mindset shift. And with all the excesses that we kind of lived with through the holidays, and I'm sure, like Stephen and I, we allowed ourselves a little bit extra this holiday season just because of everything that happened in 2020. January is a great time to allow yourself a reset. Go dry, start your diet, get yourself going in the right direction. And if you need to do a reboot, take care of yourself and do that.
I would say that I'm going to expand on that, and I say, yes, do a reboot, take out what needs to be removed from your life, but let's add some stuff in too. You don't just have to wait to the holidays to treat yourself well. if you can get a steak, eat a piece of steak. If you can have a good glass of wine, drink a good glass of wine. If you can take the opportunity to block off an entire work day and not do any work and just watch that. Rena did a little bit of Netflix binging. Do some of that. Do it. Just treat yourself right, because that's what it's about. You know, we all talk about, waiting for that rainy day. Hell, the rainy day is here now. It's here right now. I mean, this is, pivotal time in history. This is a once in a century pandemic. Treat yourself well. Let yourself enjoy the fruits of your labor right now, because you are not guaranteed it tomorrow. That's my last word on the subject. I really appreciate you all. I hope some of you can come back next week and we can have some new people next week. Happy New Year, and a little wave out to everyone. Thank you for coming.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks all.